Okay. My name is Giselle Aguiar. I've been doing internet marketing since 1995. And one of our participants mentioned that we used to do coding back in the day. That's how I started too. My company is AZ Social Media Wiz, and I started this company in 2011. So I help business owners like yourselves to get started online, as well as coach you to help you succeed. If you want to attract new customers, you can't ignore your online marketing, and content is the foundation of every single part of digital marketing. From your website to your blog to newsletters, promotional posts, ads, videos, ebooks, webinars, podcasts, it's all content. And there's a lot of content out there. So the question is, how do you stand out among the noise? Okay, so let's dig in. So not to brag, but it's really cool to be acknowledged by Google that your content marketing is actually working. So I got over 1,200 clicks into my website. Now, this is a personal project of mine. So what did I do to get this? So it started out as a daily podcast. So then I wrote a blog every day that became a script for the podcast. And I was also attuned to what was going on in the world, and I adjusted my content to reflect that. And so I did a daily podcast for 2.5 years. Now I do 2 a week, sometimes 3, depending on what's going on. The trick is to know what people are searching for and provide that. Okay. Google still owns search. Okay. Every time I pull these stats, this is just for the US, okay, but I have a link here to StatCounter, and you can get global search, but globally it's about 87 or 88%. But they lose a percentage point every month, basically, and Bing is the one that's been gaining the most. Again, they've been working on their algorithm, but they'll never reach Google. So what I tell people is like, follow Google's rules, and the other search engines will pick you up. Well, Yahoo uses the Bing search engine and algorithm, and DuckDuckGo uses Google's. And DuckDuckGo only is, what it adds is firewalls so that you do private searching, but it's still, you can't really escape the AI, all right? And I'm going to get into AI anyway, but Google's goal is to give the searcher exactly what they're searching for. So Google wants fresh, relevant content written for the human reader in natural language, and that gives you search engine optimization, or SEO. And search has also gotten smarter and now tries to figure out the context and intent behind the search term. So that's why you see people also searched for with a list of other related things regarding a search, and it's anticipating what you may be interested in. So that's the artificial intelligence, which it's getting really creepy, but it's part of life. We have to get, like, you search for something, and then all of a sudden you're on Instagram or Facebook or something, you start seeing ads for that, or something similar, and it's like, I was just thinking it. I wasn't even looking for it, and it kind of knows. Okay, pause. Let somebody in. Okay. Okay. So, at any rate, please stay muted until we get to the end of the presentation, and then I'll open it up for questions. Okay. So content is king. It's been king since the internet started, and it's still king. And it still works. So you need to create original, fresh content if you want to drive more potential customers to your website, grow your following on social media, and increase conversions, that's sales or generate leads, whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your business. So you want to push content out with your marketing message to your target audience, and that is what sharing to social media will do. And you also want to pull people in with the right content. Okay, and sharing to social media accomplishes this also. Well, one of the important things now, and Google is really getting into this now, is is quality content and helpful content. Okay, Google just came out with a new helpful content algorithm updates. Okay, what is that? Well, that can mean a lot. It means helpful means a lot to different people, but still, content is still the main building block of today's successful digital marketing strategies. So if you don't create content, you might as well close up shop. So what is content? So content could be written, which is blogs, articles, ebooks, white papers, etc. Could be visual, videos, graphics, slideshows, webinars, ads, or it could be audio, podcasts, talks, interviews. So now I have a whole SEO webinar that I did a few weeks ago. It is on my YouTube channel. It'll be in a link to it will be in the PDF that you'll be getting of the slides sometime this afternoon. And so I'm not going to get really deep into SEO, but these are some tips as related to the content that you put out there. The first one is the search intent. Okay. What exactly is your target looking for? Okay. Then get to the point. Don't waste people's time. Cover everything the searcher wants to know. Make this is more for written articles, to make it scannable, to use subheadings and bullet points. People don't like to read long paragraphs, and that applies to everywhere, to your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, blogs, articles, your downloadable PDFs and ebooks and white papers and things like that. So, use subheadings and bullet points, because people tend to skim down a page and pick up words that mean something to them. Okay. Comprehensive. Okay. So make your content actionable with internal links and avoid industry jargon. So this goes back to cover everything the searcher wants to know. So you want to have all the information in there, and then links to learn more, or to discover more, to go deeper into certain topics. Okay, so you don't have to repeat yourself every time you do a blog article, but you can go into other things, and that other content could also be videos. And we'll get into the different types of content in a little bit. It should be up-to-date content. Okay, so you want to delete obsolete stuff, stay fresh and current. Like my blog, I try to, go through old articles and update them. And so I've cleaned out just about everything from before 2020. I'm now like in the middle of 2020, just updating the articles. And on WordPress, it's really easy to update your article, turn it back into a draft, and then publish it new again, so everybody thinks it's a new article. So there's a little trick to doing that. But you want to make sure that your content is up to date. You want to be careful. You want to be careful with when you write something on like a specific season or a holiday. Then okay, so you might want to, once that holiday is over, maybe put that article back as a draft, unpublish it, and then you can reuse it again next year when that season comes up. I do that with my planning for the holiday season one, which usually comes out in August. Okay, so then after the holidays, by probably the middle of December. Okay, if you haven't planned your holiday marketing by the middle of December, you're not going to get any holiday sales. Okay, so that should be something you can do now. At any rate, at that time, I just unpublish it. And I save that for the next year. Okay, so it's very important that your content is up to date. Then shareable. Okay, so make your content so good that your audience wants to share it with their friends and followers. Okay, so if you're giving good advice, if your content is really helpful, then the visitor is going to share it, because you're going to have share buttons on your blog, or if it's a video on YouTube or wherever on Facebook or wherever it is, you want them to share it with their friends. Make it easy for them to do that, because that's how you get new visitors. the algorithms just catch that everywhere. So the more times your content is shared out there into social media, that will help you get more reach and get more visibility and exposure. That all works. So what does it all take? Okay, so time, planning, and creativity. But don't worry, I'm going to tell you about a bevy of free tools and content marketing strategies to help you generate your content, be more productive, and in turn, generate quality leads. And again, in the PDF, there will be other links to resources. At the last 2 slides, it's just full of links to other articles and to other resources. So the first thing you need to do is, who's your target audience? So you need to clearly define your target market. You can have more than one target market. You can have more than one target audience, okay? So you want to create content that your target wants or needs, okay? So yeah, you're in business because you have an idea that, like, for instance, the gal working with her dad in a carpet cleaning business, okay? Your customers have literal pain points as having a dirty carpet, okay? And the holidays are coming up, so this is a really good time to start putting out the message, like, get your carpet clean before the holidays, and then of course after the holiday parties, you got the red wine spilled on a white carpet, so you gotta think of your target market and why they're going to contact you and how they're going to contact you, how they're going to search for what you have to, for your business in there. And so you need to, clearly define who they are. So they are homeowners mostly. So, if somebody who's renting an apartment, yes, needs to clean their carpet, that's an option, but usually they'll go to the supermarket and rent a thing rather than hire somebody. You never know, but you want to make sure that you're out there. You know who your audience is. So consider age, gender, income level, occupation, likes, dislikes, habits, and other demographics. Okay, do your research. Okay, so once you've identified who these people are, who your audience is, there's a lot of free online resources to help you get as much information as possible. So find out what type of content they like. Okay, usually the video is hot, like, for everybody these days. But you want to know which social networks do they frequent the most. For instance, if you're trying to reach millennials and they're a hot market, so you need to think mobile, short videos, podcasts, and Instagram. Okay. Then you want to create personas. Okay. So imagine your perfect customer. Give them a name. Who are they? Get to know them. What are their pain points? What are their problems? How can you help them? What advice do they need? How can you educate them? That's what your content's going to do. You're going to educate them. So this is a typical buyer's journey. You've also seen a conversion funnel. It's done in the same. It's the same type of idea. So some people will go through their buying journey faster than others. So an impulse shopper sees what they want and buys it. Okay. Sometimes somebody, a person that needs to get their carpet cleaned because all of a sudden a relative's coming to visit and they don't have time for shopping. They're going to really just take the closest one and the one that comes up first. And so, and contact them, for a quote. Sounds reasonable, fantastic. When can you be here? But then you get explorers. Okay, they have to read blog articles and watch your videos and check out your social media and read reviews and Google you. Make sure you haven't had any problems with the Better Business Bureau. And then you have those who engage with you by asking questions. Okay, so you have to create content for each stage of the buying journey. Okay, in the awareness stage, they just discovered you, and they're not sure if you have what they need or are seeking. They need a lot of convincing. So maybe they'll download a freebie, an ebook, or watch a webinar, and you'll get them on the email list. Okay, so. And once they're on the email list, they get into some sort of drip campaign. That's marketing automation. So if they watched a video or they downloaded an ebook, or whatever, whatever freebie you have or a discount or something. Then, okay, so what's the next step you want them to do? Okay, if they're not quite ready to buy yet, okay, then they go to the consideration stage. Okay, then those still need a little bit of education that your product and service is worth it and they need you, they should buy from you. That also works to a lot of trust and credibility. So here's where saying, okay, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and we're a member of this chamber and that chamber and whatever, and we're certified with this and whatever, So here's where what's called social proof. So your Google reviews, your Yelp reviews, your Facebook reviews. So all of these come into play here. And then they've made the decision to buy, you need to deliver on your promise. Okay, a happy camper customer becomes a great advocate for you. They're going to tell their friends they're happy. If somebody else has that same problem, then, oh, you got to go to these people. They know what they're doing. So that, and then, and then you get user generated content. Okay, that's coming next. I'll get into that in a minute. Part of your research is checking out your competition. Okay, so what are your competitors doing online? Where do they come up in Google search compared to you for your major keywords and phrases? You want to look at the 10th to 15th spot to see what you need to do to knock them down and put yourself above them. So on mobile devices now, Google has what's called continuous scroll. So you just keep scrolling. You don't go to the next page or the next page. That's supposedly rolling out to desktop. Not everybody has that yet. I still haven't seen it. I still see, load more kind of thing. But so you want to look at those ones that are in the 10th and 15th spots. Now, keep in mind too that I go into this in the SEO webinar that I did a few weeks ago. But some of the bigger guys, they pay Google a lot of money to get in, to be on the top. And this is not just paid advertising, because you're going to see, if you're in health and wellness, you're going to see WebMD up there first for any type of symptom. And that's because that's where they are. Okay. And same thing with Amazon. So you might not see it said paid ads, but Amazon comes up there first just because it's Amazon. So you want to look at the organic searches and the little guys that come in underneath that. Okay, so you want to visit their website. So how often are they blogging? And then go to their social media. So are they active on social media? How many followers do they have? If they're blogging only once a month, then blogging daily for the first week, then 2 to 3 times a week, for the next 2 weeks. And then once you start seeing yourself move up on the Google search results pages, then doing 1 to 2 blog articles a week should keep you there. But again, you got to keep tabs on them. I'm working with somebody right now, and I looked at their competitors, and they're just here in the state of Arizona. He's got several competitors, and they're bigger guys, but they're not blogging. They haven't blogged in months, a couple of them in years. Okay. So as soon as my client gets his website up and we start blogging and putting content out there, we're going to get above those guys. And they're going to say, I'm like, where'd this guy come from? And like, that's exactly what you need to do. So you got to do whatever they're doing. You see what they're doing. You got to do more of it and better than what they do. And that's what grows your following on social media, and that's what gets you up higher in the Google search results. So what type of content are you going to create? What type of content are you capable of creating? Because that's the other question here. So first you have blogs. So you have to be a fairly good writer here. But there's good news, because many public libraries offer free writing classes, and they're writing classes online. So you can learn how to write. Okay, so basically it's storytelling. What it comes down to is you're telling stories. Blog articles should be between 300 and 500 words. Okay, then you have video. So video, it's very easy now with cameras on mobile devices and laptops and tablets. But what about editing? So there's free editing software on Mac, It's iMovie. It's included with your operating system. On PC, they have Movie Maker, which is free, but you have to download it. YouTube also has an editor. And now I just saw something that if you want to do the YouTube shorts, they've got better editing now. And I think Instagram too is offering better ways to edit your video shorts, your vertical videos. And then you can also create animated GIFs. Okay, so these are animations in a graphic. So anything that moves is eye-catching. You'll want to invest in a tripod if you're going to do videos. I just have my laptop and I have a green screen behind me, so that's why you see the beautiful Arizona desert. So it all depends on where you're going to be doing it. And one of the tricks to doing this too is you have to be comfortable in doing it. You have to get used to doing it. At first, you're going to flub. Okay, it's going to happen. So it might take you longer to do stuff, but once you get used to doing it, okay, like once this webinar is over, the recording downloads. I upload it into YouTube. I add my call to action tag at the end of it, and I have it done in 30 minutes. Okay, before it would have taken me like 2 hours to do it in the beginning. So you're learning something new. It is going to take you more time in the beginning. All right. We also have podcasting. Okay, so podcasting, you don't want to be in your face in front of people. Okay, you're a little shy. Podcasting might be either way, but you need to be able to talk. Okay, so you can talk, you can podcast. And in fact, I have an article which is linked in the PDF on podcasting. You do not need fancy equipment. I do it with my little AirPods. And like I said, my blog is my script. So it just sounds more professional that way. I used to do it with just notes, and there's too many, that kind of thing for the podcast. And then there's static graphics. And pictures. Okay, you can use promotional graphics for organic or non-paid social media posts, and then you can also do them for paid advertising also. Okay, we got somebody coming in. Okay, and so, but you want to make sure you want to create original, relevant content, not clickbait. Okay, so and I'll talk about what that is in a minute. And there's a free graphics tool called Canva, Canva.com. You can create images, videos, animations. It's free to a point, but it's got a lot of stuff you can use for free, and it's a fantastic tool. I love it. I make all my graphics with it. Okay, so. We've got, okay, back up. We need to create a content hub. What is that? Okay, so create a page on your website. This is just a suggestion, with a glossary of industry terms and jargon. Okay, so you're going to define each one, and each one is going to be linked to a page or a blog article that explains what it is. Okay, so, and I have a sample of that on my website. It's called my Glossary of Digital Marketing Terms, and I have a link to it from there, so you can check it out. And you can also link it instead of to other blog articles. You can also link it to videos or podcasts that talk about those topics. Okay, so these are examples of two graphics that I created for one of my clients. Okay, and they were very simple animations. I did them in about 30 to 45 minutes on Canva. So again, very simple, just a little bit of animation, and that just catches the eye of people. So you're sharing these on social media, you're sharing them. You can even put them on your website too. And Canva has a lot of templates. And again, it's free to a point, but it also is very inexpensive to use. And if anybody here is part of a nonprofit, they also have a free upgrade for nonprofits, which is pretty cool. And I mentioned before user-generated content. Okay, so this is when you've got a happy camper customer. So you want to share their pictures using your product or service. I worked with a gal a few years ago who sold craft jars for kids. So one of the things I told her to do is with her thank you email that she sends out, to to provide them the username and hashtag so they can take pictures of their creations and tag their business and mention the business on Instagram. So that really, and why this works so well is, first, you're not paying for it. Okay, your happy camper customers are sharing it to their accounts, not your business, but they're tagging your business, so that gives you extra reach to all of their friends and followers. And this is like it's like a review, like, oh, look what I got. Okay, so like, this is if you have a brick and mortar location. Okay, so this is an Instagram post, and this venue actually is across the street from where I live in downtown Phoenix. So if you have a restaurant or a place of business where people are coming in to your office or place of business, offer to take a picture or video of them on their phone. Okay, so and also instruct them to tag your location. Okay, like this one here. So they tag the teapot. Okay, so it's the person's personal account, but the location tag is tagged of where it is. Now, keep in mind that all the content that you produce is part of your brand image. So make sure you put out good quality content. In blogging, proofread it again, read it aloud to yourself. Bad grammar and spelling errors actually hurt your SEO ranking. And yes, Google is that picky. So videos and graphics can never be fuzzy, right? So don't settle for just okay. This is no time to be lazy. All right. What are you going to write about? Well, what's your story? Okay. Tell stories. So keep up your passion. Create content about what you know and what you feel comfortable doing. Storytelling is the best thing to do. Okay. And, even if you don't want to mention people's names, you can make hypothetical situations like, don't let this happen to you. All different things just to get your potential target market's attention. So if you don't feel you're a good speaker, then videos and podcasting won't work because you're going to stop doing it because you're uncomfortable and it's hard. Same thing if you don't feel like you're a good writer. However, there are ways around this. Like, instead of you being in front of the camera, get someone else, or do a slideshow with a voiceover. Or if you have a place of business, get one of your customers to just do a video of themselves, praising your business and how you've helped them. Okay. Crafting your message. So you know who you're trying to reach. You've got goals and objectives that you want. You're putting together a strategy. Now you have to craft your message. Okay, so these tips will help no matter what type of content you're creating. All right, so I mentioned clickbait. So that means an enticing headline. So you want to catch your target's eye. You want to grab their attention. I use a tool called CoSchedule Headline Analyzer. It's free to use to a point, and it helps you find the right words, and you want to get a high score on it. So, and then you're also going to get a list from doing your keyword research, and that's I covered all that in the SEO video that I did a few weeks ago, and so you can check that out there. But that keyword research list is an idea for topics. So nothing better than to write about what people are searching for. You want to keep their attention. Okay, you do this with the first paragraph in a blog or the first 15 seconds of a video or podcast, and that you need to keep the attention of the reader, the viewer, or the listener. Outline the benefits. What are they going to learn or enjoy if they consume the whole piece? Okay, how are you going to solve their problems? What advice are you getting? What helpful information are you giving them? Okay, then deliver on the headline. Okay, this is where that clickbait comes in. So you click on a headline, and when you get there, it's nothing about what the headline is. Okay, and it's not, and it really hurts you in every possible way. People leave immediately. That is bad for your SEO. They'll never trust your post again. They'll stop following you on social media. They'll make a mental note of your name and brand, and you lost them for good. That's it. So you want to offer advice, tell a story, answer a question. How long should it be? However long it takes for you to answer the question, tell the story. So 300, 500, 1,000, 1,200 words, it just depends. On videos, short, depending on what the video is. If you're doing an educational video, like obviously this webinar video is going to be close to an hour, all right? So, or more. So that's the, but it's an educational video. And if you want to learn something, you're going to sit for 45 minutes to an hour and watch a video, okay? For advertising and for marketing and for catching people's attention, you want shorter videos that catch people's catch people's attention in the first 15 seconds with motion and movement, animations. Okay, write for your target audience. And a lot of you might be experts in your field, and you don't want to write at that level unless you're writing white papers for peers in your same level of education in your industry. I had a client I love, bless his heart. He had an MBA and he wrote at that level and was trying to reach the average small business owner that really doesn't get the jargon, the business jargon for, major corporations. So it's like, so we, I don't want to use the phrase dumb it down, but you've got to, go, write it at their level. If you're on WordPress, there's a plugin called SEO by Yoast, and it actually helps you with the reading level and tells you like, oh, you're writing at the college level. We basically have to write for like an 11-year-old, so explain everything fully. You don't want to write or talk over your target market's head because that will just turn them off and they'll just, walk away, go elsewhere. Okay. You want to share, don't sell. Okay. And if you're involved in any groups online, like Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, so one thing you do not want to do is post, sell, buy this. I got the greatest. No, you want to, again, offer, be helpful, offer advice. Okay. You want to share content, don't sell. Okay. The selling comes later in your email automation, on your website as a call to action, that comes later. And speaking of that, that's number 6. Okay. So you always want to put a call to action at the end. Okay. So, wherever it is, at the end of your blog, on your video or a podcast, you've got their attention. They listened or they watched or they read the whole thing. What do you want them to do? Okay. Contact us for a free quote. Ask them if they've got to comment on something, if they have any questions or something like that. Make it easy for them to contact you. Okay, whatever it is you want them to do, download a free ebook, download this coupon for percentage off your first order or whatever. You want to keep that in mind, and you want to have those calls to action, not just at the end of every blog, but in several different places along your website. And that's a whole other class. In fact, I'm going to be covering that next week with, what happens when your marketing isn't working. This here graphic is this is what's called an infographic, which is another type of content. Okay. It's a graphic with information. So this is what's important to the consumer. Okay. And I just thought this was interesting. So first, it was engagement and then transparency. Okay, who's behind the company, right? So that this is in your about section and your on your Facebook page. It's also in your Google business what do they call a profile now. So it has all that information. It's also on your website. You have an about the company page. that just has your story, who's behind the company, why did you start your company, your parents. So this is transparency. Okay, so it's important to customers. Okay, then strong customer service. If somebody has a problem, if somebody gives you a bad review, you want to respond to them right away. How can we make this right? Okay. One thing that was interesting that the companies thought that was important was setting trends and pop culture references, where the customers really didn't care about that. So, in my opinion, keep neutral, because you don't want to upset 50% of the world that's out there by saying what you think of something that's going on. You want to keep your business and personal separate. Because it's everything's very volatile these days on social media. You be careful what you share. Just stay neutral, in everything that's going on in there, because you don't know who your potential customer might be, and you definitely don't want to offend them, right? Okay, so you got all this thing to do. How do you do this all? So you got to weigh your options: time, cost, and quality. So you might want to outsource your content creation if you have the budget. So research your options to make sure you get someone who will create content that will enhance your company's brand image. If you do outsource your content production, make sure that you're providing good quality content, not low quality, mass-produced articles packed with keywords that ignore proper grammar, okay? That was keyword stuffing, it was called back in the day, and it's called, what that's called is a black hat tactic, which is, it's bad. Google hates it. Google will flag you for that, and you'll lose all your SEO completely if you do those tactics. So that's where we go for good quality content, helpful content. And for those of you who are in the United States, beware of companies that are outside the US. If you have a problem, you have no recourse. In the US, if you have a problem, you could contact the Better Business Bureau. Okay. So that's just, my advice. If you want to take the chance, then take the chance. Social media. So get your social media act together. Social media plays an important part in how you promote and distribute your content. And I have a lot of content on my website on the specific networks. I've updated Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I just updated with the 2 webinars I did in the last 2 weeks. Learn how to use hashtags effectively. I have a blog article and a video on hashtags. I'm going to be doing a webinar on hashtags soon. That hashtags will help you increase your following, exposure, and awareness. They also get picked up by the individual social network's algorithm. And it leads to those valuable visits to your websites. Okay. All right. So planning. Okay. So you want to start with SMART goals. Without a plan, you'll be overwhelmed. Okay. You will be. It's, I don't know where to start. Okay. So you want to start with SMART goals on what you want to accomplish with your content marketing. So an example of a SMART goal is like 500 new visitors to your website in the next 30 days. Or it could be 100 conversions or 100 new people to my email list. So set your goals month to month. They're easier to handle that way. So what are your objectives? To drive traffic to your website, lead generation, grow your email list with quality leads, grow your social media following. Okay, and this may be a goal if you're just starting out. Okay, so the strategic plan is how you're going to accomplish these goals. So you want to include data from your research. Based on your research, how often do you need to blog? How often will you record a video or podcast? Then the tactical plan is detailing how you're going to implement the strategy. Basically, it's your to-do list. Okay, so what are you going to do, when, and where? Okay, how much time are you going to spend? Obviously, when you find your research, like if you're B2C, business to consumer, you're going to spend more time on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Okay, if you're B2B, you're going to spend more time on LinkedIn and Twitter. Okay, so and then Facebook's going to be like a secondary one. And forget Instagram. Instagram is too difficult for B2B. Once you really establish yourself on LinkedIn and Twitter, then you can go explore Instagram and maybe do some paid advertising over there. But Instagram, for B2B people, I just say no, it's too much work. If you want to concentrate, there's so much you can do on LinkedIn, especially for B2B audience, for B2B businesses. Okay, so digital marketing is social media marketing, content marketing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're in it for the long haul. Okay, so and I would say be aware the world is constantly changing. Okay, Google every month they come up with an algorithm change. Okay, so how does that affect me? What do I need to change? What do I need to do differently? And then it's like, okay, how to keep up with this stuff? Well, you follow me because I share all this stuff on social media. Okay, so you must be consistent and persistent. Okay, so this is it's a little content marketing cycle. So listen to your do your research. Who's your customer? Your buyer's persona. Okay, then decide on your theme and topics. Okay, then create the content, promote the content, measure. Okay, evaluate. Okay, so at the end of each month, did you meet your goals? Okay, did people click through? How many impressions did my ad get? How many impressions did I get on the Google search engine? That's from the Search Console. Okay, how many click-throughs did I get? One thing's coming up on Google, the other one's getting click-throughs. Okay, and so based on your analytics, then you're gonna repurpose, you're gonna analyze, you're gonna adjust your strategic and tactical marketing plans, readjust your goals. If you met your goals, fantastic, keep doing what you're doing. Okay, if you didn't meet your goals, okay, I got to put more content out there. I have to do more. Okay, whatever I'm doing is not enough. Okay, now next week I have a special webinar where I go into how do you analyze your analytics. Okay, you analyze your marketing efforts when they're not working. Okay, so you're placing the ads, they're not clicking on the ads. They're not, or they're seeing the ads, but they're not doing anything. If they do go over to your website, they don't convert. Okay, so there could be a lot of different things. So you got to take a step back and just go over what it is that could be wrong. Okay, that's what I'm going to cover in next week. So we're going to talk about analytics. I'm even going to touch on the new Google Analytics, which for me, it's actually kind of scary. So, but I found an article that explains it really nicely. So I'm just going to go and just mimic what they did on there, because Google Analytics, the current, I forgot what they call it. The current classic Google Analytics is going away starting in July 1st of next year, 2023. And we're going to go to Google Analytics 4 or GA4. Supposedly it gives you better data. So it's like better data is always good. But, again, it's Google, and Google Analytics is free, but you need to set it up, on your website to make sure that it's tracking. And that's a good thing to make sure you've got that done. Now, all of the social media networks have their own insights. Again, depending on what tools you use for that. I like Sendable. It's a great tool for scheduling posts out. In fact, now they have, I just got an email from them that they're doing reels. So for Instagram. And that was a pain in the neck because those you had to do on the mobile device. So now you can schedule them out through Sendable. So I am a Sendable affiliate because I just like it so much. And they give you great analytic reports. They give you best time to post. And that's gold. Okay, so when are your followers on? Okay, that's when you want to post your stuff. So so that's one of the things. But going back to keeping it going. So a gal I worked with some time ago said that she was doing everything I told her to do, blogging once a week, active on social media, etc. Then she got busy and stopped. So when the last client's job was done, there was nobody on the potential client pipeline. So if you get busy, you can't stop marketing. So hire somebody to help you if it's just for a few months. Try to automate as much as you can, so that there's a lot of tools that you can automate stuff, even though you're not creating new content. There are tools to share content on a regular basis to your social media. But if you stop posting on social media, people will think you fell off the face of the earth. If you stop blogging, Google will forget you. If your website becomes stagnant, Google will forget you. Okay, because one of the things it wants fresh content. Okay, so that fresh content is what's going to come up to the top. Okay, this is how it all works together. So this is a formula and a recipe for success, but it starts with content. So it's the fresh material that Google is looking for. Plus, you want to become that content magnet. So you promote that content on social media. You engage with your potential customer. And that's the formula. Content plus social media gives you search engine optimization or traffic to your website. Given that, you must have a website that's set up to capture leads. So you need to convert that visitor into a lead by offering a free download, an ebook, and yes, more content, okay? A webinar or a video or a coupon or special offer. And then you want to capture them, capture their names and email address, and by asking them 2 or 3 qualifying questions to be able to segment your email list, and you put them into a marketing automation with email. So a couple of days after the download, send them an email with a video. If they watch the video, then they get a different, they get a certain email with a call to action. Maybe they're ready. If they don't watch the video in 3 days, they get a different email. That maybe that video didn't catch their attention enough, so you want to try something else. But the idea is to nurture the lead into a sale with your content. Okay, and scheduling out. Okay, so don't post erratically on social media. Have a posting schedule, and your analytics and insights will tell you when the optimum time to post is for each network. And again, I mentioned Sendable is a great tool to do that. There'll be a link to it in the PDF. Optimizing. Okay, so make sure your website is optimized for the search engine. I get you'll get a link also to the SEO video that I did, the webinar I did a few weeks ago. All right, you want your target to find you. Okay, so you're going to do your keyword research to determine what people are searching for regarding what you have to offer. And the Google keyword tool, and there's other tools out there. They're free. A lot of them are free to use, but you want to look for keywords and phrases with high monthly search volume and low to medium competition. And you can choose your geographic area. If you're a local business, or if you're global or whatever, or national, you can choose your geographic area. And you want to find those keywords. On the list that these keyword tools provide you with are topics that you can create content on. And just think about that. So it's the best content that you're gonna find is to create is what people are searching for. Okay. You also want to optimize your social media profiles and use those keywords. I like the phrase keyword centric. Okay, so that means using these keywords as anchors in your about sections. Now, Facebook and LinkedIn give you the most space. Use it. Okay, bios on Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram are short, like 150, 160 characters. So in that case, don't use flowery language. Again, use those keywords. And you'll determine this again with your research. Okay, then your analytics. So you want to make sure the analytics are set up properly on your website. And you need to track where your visitors are coming from. Now, you're going to get page views. Okay, that's one of the data points that you're going to look for. Now, the new GA thing is called events. All right, but basically, this is what you're looking for in your analytics. So, how many pages were viewed altogether? You get an average page view per visitor. Okay. Then you get your new visitors versus returning visitors. You get where did they come from? How did they find you? And more than likely, the search engine is going to be first, and then you're going to see your social media in there. Okay. So that's going to tell you which social media networks you're going to spend more time on. Okay. And that's important. And it'll also tell you what's working and not working. How long did the visitor stay? Again, that goes back to how many pages they view. Now, obviously, if you're just starting out and you only have, like 5 blog articles, that's why you want to put out a lot of content, 3 to 5 times a week for 2 weeks, and then 2 to 3 for the next couple of weeks. So you have content for people to stay and look at. Okay, you want them to stay on the website. Once you're more established down the line, however much content you want to provide and do and out there, that's the best thing you could do. Repurpose other stuff. I had a client that had PDFs like crazy on his industry, but they had to be converted into blog articles. So it was basically copy paste, because you can't just upload. You can upload a PDF, but there's no good SEO for PDFs. So you rather make them into blog articles. And keep a PDF for a free ebook kind of thing that you want to do as a call to action for people. So again, how many pages did they view? What search terms did they use to find you? Now, this comes from the Google Search Console, and there's other tools out there too that give you this information. Demographics, okay? Are you reaching the right targets? So you find this information also on your social media networks, because they give you demographics on who your followers are. And then the most popular posts or pages. Okay, so you want to know which was the ones that people liked the best. And the Search Console gives you that information. Okay, so that's one of the things. So it was like, oh, that's interesting. So I can write more about that topic. And so your analytics are very, very important. And so you want to schedule time the first week of each month. Just could be an afternoon or Saturday or something, that you want to take a look at your analytics and analyze your analytics. What's working, what's not working, and then plan for the next month. Okay, we are wrapping this down. Okay, content, you have to have the right website. Okay, now WordPress is the most popular website content management system, CMS, content management system. So it manages your blog, your content, your blog articles. They have over 64% of the CMS market. It is very user-friendly, but there is a learning curve, and I can teach you not only how to manage your WordPress website as well as blog effectively on the platform, but also I can guide you to build your own WordPress website in a few days. So it's a new service specifically for small business owners who find the cost of hiring a professional designer or developer out of reach. And this will benefit you if you're on WordPress and you're having difficulty getting around it, if you have an old WordPress site, if your website was built before July of 2019, you've got terrible SEO, I'm telling you right now. And you've not kept up with the Google Core Web Vitals updates. And again, that I covered in my SEO webinar. You want to be found when potential clients are searching for what you have to offer. Now, some of the site builders that are out there, Wix, Weebly, GoDaddy's, any of those site builders or the free websites, they're limited and they hinder your search engine optimization. And it's just because of the way they're constructed. To be easy, drag and drop kind of stuff, just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. And a lot of businesses outgrow these free websites very quickly because there's only so much customization you can do. And then they start charging you for each thing and they're nickel and diming you to death. So if you start out with a hosted website with WordPress, you can add stuff and it can grow with your business as you go on. Time-saving tools, okay? You're probably thinking, I don't have time to do all this. Yeah. Remember this. It's going to take you more time upfront as you get used to all these tools and the software programs and stuff like that. Okay, but these are some tools. Where to find content. I love Quora. It's a Q&A site. It takes a little time, but the more questions you answer, the more you get known as an expert in your field. So you want to set up your profile, put links to Quora on your website and LinkedIn. Follow questions from your topic of expertise. So they'll actually email you when a question is asked in your Like for instance, how do I get a red wine stain out of carpeting? I mean, if that's what you do for a living, the answer to that. The average homeowner doesn't. Okay? So, so that might be there. So you see how many people answer it. Respond quickly to questions, so you're one of the first to answer. If someone beat you to it and they answered correctly, in other words, you couldn't have written it better yourself, upvote their answer, share your answers to social media. And then the trick with Quora is to answer the question with a short paragraph, then put links to pertinent blog articles on your website to dig deeper. Details, here are more details on that, or here's more information on that topic. So it helps drive people to your website, and it helps with SEO as you're creating legitimate backlinks. And I notice that when I spend time on Quora, I'll see Quora come up before the social networks, after the search engines in where my people come from in my analytics. So it works. It does really work. Okay. Feedly is basically your online newsstand. Okay, so you can set up. So if you have to subscribe to dozens of blogs and online magazines to keep up with your industry or your competition, or find relevant content from trusted sources to share on your social media, you don't need 100 emails a day. All right, this is where Feedly comes in. So I use it daily to find content for my clients and keep up with the news. I use the Feedly mobile app on my tablet, and I set up folders to save content that I want to read later or deal with later. Like I have a folder for class material. Okay, so this is something I need to bring up in the next webinar I do. Watch for, be careful with bloggers or magazines that post several times a day. If it's just too much, unfollow. For instance, I remember I was working with a client and I had Entrepreneur Magazine, right? Great, excellent thing. Yes, they have like 250 articles a day. All right. So, and it's like, okay, this is way too much to weed through. So I try to get down in the topics. I had it going automatically to Twitter. And that was good because it was business news, and that's what we wanted to see. But Twitter can handle that because that's just the nature of Twitter. Okay, automation. I mentioned automation, so deliver it. You automate posting to social media. So when you find posts that are that would be good content, usually is when I say, well, I couldn't have written that better myself. So other experts in your industry that you want to share that content with, you can automate that using the RSS feeds. And so every time they publish an article, Deliver It will automatically send it to your social media accounts. It will also, you can also set it up to work from your website. So your website RSS feed will then, as soon as you publish something, it will automatically send it to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, your LinkedIn personal, LinkedIn business page, even your Google business profile. And that is definitely what you want to do, because in the Google business profile, you can put your posts, but you want to automate it so you don't have to go in there and each one of them, open them up, plug, copy paste in there. That takes too much time. Deliver It just saves you a ton of time in getting your content out there. LinkedIn. Okay, I mentioned LinkedIn before. So you can repurpose content over on LinkedIn, but you always want to put this originally appeared on the website, on your website, okay, with a link to the original article. Sendable, I mentioned it before, the best scheduling tool ever, and WordPress is the best blogging platform out there for you. So another service that I have is SEO copywriting. So good SEO copywriting will get your website high enough on the Google search results page above your competition. It will also entice the searcher, your potential customer, to click on the listing. Again, one thing is getting your page, your blog article or whatever into the top of the Google search. The other thing is getting the searcher to click on it. And that's one of the most frustrating things when you see you've come up 500 times and you've only gotten 2 clicks. Well, that's part of the SEO copywriting that's involved there. And then on your website, you want your visitor to convert from a lead to a sale, or rather, visitor to convert into a lead or a sale. You want that call to action in there. So if you're getting people to your website but they're not doing anything, then it's your copywriting that's failing there. Something is not working there. Okay. And then bad SEO copywriting gives you low rankings on Google. Again, you get impressions on the search result page, but no clicks. You have a low click-through rate. And then people visit your site and don't do anything. Okay, so it's like, why am I doing all this stuff? It's not working. So it's not that social media doesn't work. It doesn't. No, there's certain things that just don't work. So this is my new SEO copywriting service. So I will do SEO competitor research. So I will go and check out who your competitors are, do your keyword research, on-page optimization, editing existing copies, new page copy, social media optimization, e-commerce optimization for, each product, their descriptions has to be optimized. So it comes up in the searches too. But if you're going to attempt to do it all yourself, you'll need my ebook. It's available for the Kindle Reader or the Kindle app. It's step-by-step, easy to follow, everything from goal setting to hashtags, which networks to focus on, how to beat the competition, how to drive traffic to your website, what type of content you create, goes into even more details than what I covered today. Strategies for each networks. Create your own customized strategic and tactical plans and what you need to take your digital marketing to the next level. And again, it's available. It's on Amazon Kindle. So if you have Kindle, the Kindle monthly thing is actually available for free. Okay. So if you would like me to, again, we've got some time now, so I'll be happy to take a look at your website or your social media. Or you can go to my website and schedule a free 50-minute phone consultation. I'll review your current marketing efforts and give you a few tips. And I also have a lot of articles. I do one on what's going to be trending on social media. So September one's out. October will be out this week, as a matter of fact. Okay, I have to get that one out this week. So you're going to want to check that out. Okay, time for Q&A. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but here at the end, there's links. It'll be in the PDF to all of the tools I spoke about, and also and then some articles too, some of mine and some other sources in here. So, all right, and I see I have 3 things in the chat. I will check that out. Let's see. Can't hear anything.
I heard you the whole time, Giselle.
Okay, yeah, I didn't, so I don't know, that could have been something. If the video, the video is there. If you're, it could be, your internet or something that happens. We're working a lot of things here. Thanks, Lara, or whoever that was. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. Does anybody want me to check out their website? Gladys, is there a website to look at keywords? I cannot remember the name. I don't know. Okay. Well, I have an article here with 7 different keyword ones. It's in the PDF in the links. It's in the links. I make sure it's in the links in the PDF. I have an article on there's like several different tools out there, and let's see. Any other questions?
Can you say more about that DIY website building?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Basically what I do is we work via Zoom, and you share your screen and I walk you through everything, everything about WordPress, from the back end and how to work with the blocks and how to do stuff. And I use a theme that's really cool because it has different templates with it for the different pages that you might need in there. So it's already kind of all laid out and set up, and there's just minor changes that you make on it. And so it's all you know, it's like I guide you through it, you know, and it's there's a learning curve like with anything, there's a learning curve. But I've been using it for so many years that, and I'm doing this with another client of mine. Actually, I'm doing it with two people right now. And, you know, once I showed them how it works, like, oh, wow, I could do this. Oh, wow, I could do that. You know, and so they're going full blast, you know? Yeah, so basically, I charge $525, and you get 7 one-on-one sessions. If you need more, then they're billed. But usually, people will just get done faster than that, and depends on your technical skills. Once I show you, they'll show you how the SEO plugins work, and then how to set up all the plugins to get the stuff automated, and you know, and that kind of stuff. So it just covers everything in there.
Is the theme that you use free? Yes,
it's called Astra. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was trying to work with that. Yes. I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble like losing the old info and working with WordPress as it is now.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of times, there's tricks to do that, to just, you know, copy over to the new system. It's a lot of copy pasting in there and formatting. And it's the formatting that takes time in that. Question. There's a website to look at keywords. Can't remember. Okay, I saw that one already. What can you do if no one is searching for your business terms? So you've done a keyword, Gladys. You've done a keyword research already, and nobody searches for that. You know, that phrase isn't coming up. Let me hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me switch. Share my screen. Share that one. And show you the Google keyword tool. Let's go play with that. We got some time here. Okay, let's move this out. And this, I'm gonna switch my windows over. Okay. This out there too. All right. Okay, so I'm like grandfathered into the Google keyword tool because I've used it so much. So let's go into. See, that's just the thing. You need to play with it a little bit. So you want to. Okay, so let's see. Photo organizing. Let's see. Oops. Photo organizing. How to organize digital photos. Let's start with that. See what else it gives us. Okay. Well, okay. So I'm in the US. Okay. So photo organizing, I got 1,000 to 10,000 searches. You have high competition. So that means there's other people doing that. How to organize digital photos, a little bit less. So you have 100 to 1,000 monthly searches with medium competition. But then you have here some the other keyword ideas that it gives you. So how to organize photos, it's 100 to 1,000. Still, that's not too shabby. But you're high competition. So you want to look at the low competition. Photo manager, picture organizer, that one's higher. Best way to organize digital photos 2020. Okay, so that's a little too much. So you've got the longer the phrases, the less monthly searches you're going to get. Okay, best photo organizer. So that's, you know, tools and stuff. Organize photos on iPhone. So you might want to do a little video on how to organize photos on an iPhone, and that kind of thing. And then say, so if you don't have time to do this, I can do them for you, and that kind of call to action at the end. Have you found that, okay, I can't get into Google, Gladys, because I covered that in my last webinar, and that's a whole other webinar. But I'll make sure the link to the SEO webinar is in the email that you get with the PDF and the webinar of this one. So those of you who came in late, the webinar, the whole video, you will get the whole video. All right. So have you found that having an audio file with metadata along with a blog post helps SEO? Okay, so see, I have a podcast. So there's like at least 24 or more podcast channels and apps out there. So I'm registered in like all of them. So if somebody searches for my podcast, I'm going to be found in whichever one. Okay, but what helps is when you do the show notes, because still it works by search, which works by words. So the search engine still works with keywords, with written keywords. So you need to put those keywords always in the descriptions. Yes, podcast, doing podcasts and having they're out there too will help. Anything helps, anything with content that's out there on a regular basis. But again, you have to put those, you have to put your descriptions, make them keyword centric, in there. Okay. Any other questions? Any questions? Well, again, if you want to, you could schedule a free 15-minute phone consultation. I could take a look at what you're doing, and test your website for SEO and the Core Web Vitals update and all that, that fun stuff. And I can see how I can help you hopefully do better with your advertising and your marketing online. Okay, thank you all for coming today, and we will see you soon.
Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like it and subscribe to her channel. Then, click on over to the AZ Social Media Wiz website to download the free Define Your Target Market Workbook, or schedule a free 15-minute phone consultation and review of your marketing efforts.